And welcome to Before the Kids Wake Up.
Welcome to Before the Kids Wake Up. I'm Claude, and
This is Renee.
you can actually see us now. We're actually gonna be doing this more often, a little bit more visuals for us. You can see that Renee and I look exhausted. It's 5 a.m.
I was going to say, don't mind my puffy eyes because I just haven't put makeup or anything. This is just the raw me.
And we're trying something new, so we may look a little bit better in the future. Renee always looks gorgeous, but it's pretty rough right now. We're just trying to get our coffee in, having some technical difficulties, and just trying to get you guys this video without waking up Olivia or Nicholas. But we're glad to be back. We were gone for a little while.
We had technical difficulties last week too.
Yeah, well, it was more like Olivia difficulties. She kind of came in and kept interrupting us, and I couldn't even like put the audio together or the video because it just didn't sound right. It sounded segmented as heck, and it just wasn't a good. It wasn't a good show. So we always try to bring you guys quality stuff. So. Hey, so we're here. So, we'll jump right into it. So, Renee, you were out of town last week?
Yeah, so I went to see my dad. I got this genius idea to take the kids by myself to Ohio, which really wasn't horrible. I got a later flight, though, when we flew up there, thinking Olivia would sleep, and then the flight was delayed. So, really, she slept at the airport instead of on the plane. But other than that, the ride up there was great. The ride back, not quite so much. She kind of had a meltdown in the airport and threw herself on the ground and in front of a vending machine, and that was a little...
So nothing to be unexpected when it comes to Olivia there, right?
No, but then again, what is unexpected from Olivia at this point? I feel as if everything's just never, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, she's been pretty rough the last couple of weeks too. Like just in general, I don't know if
she was good when we were in Ohio, though. She really was. But I was because I wasn't working. I was 100% attentive to her, and then my dad, obviously was as well. So I don't know if that kind of helped a little bit. But yeah, no, yesterday was a rough day. She cried. She was just grouchy yesterday.
Yeah, it was crazy because we did like all the Christmas tree stuff. We did all the Christmas lights. She bought this, 6 foot tall, 6 foot long, and blow up inflatable Christmas unicorn. So she definitely got basically everything that she wanted. I don't even know if it's about what she wants anymore. And just in general, she just I don't know. I don't want to call her spoiled.
But she was going, but she wasn't because, she didn't get everything she wanted yesterday. There were a lot of things we said no to, but no, she goes from crying to happy in 2.5 seconds. It's insane.
Crying to happy. It literally goes from sweetness to rage, like in 2 seconds.
Oh, and she says too, I am very angry.
I'm mean right now. I go, okay, all right, we're gonna over that real quick.
It's been fun.
How else was Ohio? You got out of town.
It was great. So, I got to eat at all my favorite places. And
speaking of that, so you guys know last time I think we had a show. We were talking about how we were doing the low carb diet. So how did that go?
It was great until I got to Ohio, and then I ate at all my favorite places.
Jesus. You have no willpower.
No, none at all. And so, so that was fun, though. But I love going home and eating at my favorite places. That's one of my favorite things when I'm there. And then Olivia was a little disappointed because she requested snow to make a snowman, and it only snowed one day. Not enough to stick. But she did get to see it, so I felt that was still a win.
Very good. Good for Olivia, being able to see the snow.
Yeah, because I had to drive one day, drive my dad's truck, and... I was a little afraid.
So full disclosure, if you didn't listen to the last episode, I didn't go because I had to work. Somehow I've been able to avoid having to go to Ohio, and I feel like my time is running out. But I'm glad you had a good time without me. Yes. And I was here. I had a lot of work to do. I didn't have a whole lot of fun, but I did hang out by myself for a little while, and it's different.
Quiet, right?
It is quiet. It's eerily quiet, though.
Yeah.
Our house is always so loud. Like, this is the quietest time our house is right now when we record this. This is why we record at 5 a.m. So not having you guys here for that time was a little eerie. It's a little quiet. I had the dogs were here. Yeah. So, and that was fun. But I'm glad you're back. You're here. Yeah. We can get our holiday started. Yesterday, we actually got Christmas tree and all that stuff.
Finally, we got our Christmas tree up. All of our decorations, really, outside decorations. We're ready to go.
Yeah, we're good to go. We're solid right now, actually. It was tough though because Olivia is like trying to overly help, and Nicholas wants to do everything to get out of the help.
Right.
And you literally just wanted us to be like a '90s sitcom where
Like
everybody's decking the halls and singing.
happy. I'm trying. And then at one point I just had to stop and just sit down. And I'm like, I can't, Claude. I can't. I'm like dragging Nicholas to help me. And Olivia was hilarious. So she wasn't, to me, it wasn't even annoying so much as she had so much of it pulled out.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, well, we can do that now. And then I'm trying to help her with that. And then she's on to the next thing. And I'm like, whoa, like we can only put one thing
At a time.
And then at one point she had 4 ornaments on one branch. I'm like, all right, so we got to spread these out a little bit.
Yeah, and then what did you buy? So you bought this thing in Ohio, right? So you went. So so first of all, where is this place you went in Ohio?
Oh, so I went to a place that's called Cranex, and
Is that mom and pop place?
that's a good question.
We'll have to find out.
But we go. It's actually in Pennsylvania, so
Okay.
because I live right close to the border, or where I'm from is, and so we used to go a lot as a kid because they have. I mean, it's not huge. Let me tell you, as an adult, I'm realizing things that seemed really big as a child really are a lot smaller now.
That's what she said.
But anyways,
Oh no,
so,
not that.
I know,
That's
like,
weird.
wait a
Never
minute,
mind.
that's very weird.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so they have a setup where you can walk through, and it's got all these Christmas decorations set up, and it's got music, and it's very, very decorated. And so, and you walk through, and it's just like this Christmassy thing that we used to do. And then there's a toy store afterwards, and all the Christmas decorations that is in the thing that you walk through is right there. And you can even buy a tree apparently completely already decorated, like all the decorations, everything, and just get it like that. So I finally got to take both kids. Neither of them had ever been. Nicholas I had never even taken. And so that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I like it.
And you got. So what did you get? That
Oh,
you
okay.
thought
So
was
some
amazing?
okay. So some of these trees have what's called a starburst on it, and what it is it's this. It looks like a starburst light that has all these little things out, right? So in the pictures or in the tree that I saw, they appeared to be smaller, and so you could put them like in your tree and like hook them into your lights, or you could have these starbursts of color, right? So I'm like, oh, I gotta have one of these. And first off, I wanted red. They didn't have red, so I got blue, which was okay too. And so I look at the box, and it says the number 8. So I'm thinking there's 8 of these small starbursts. No, so there's 8 functions to the light, and
There's 80 lights, 8 functions, 1 giant starburst.
yes.
So we have it. I'll cut a video of the actual tree right here, and I'll let y'all see. We have 1 giant, just blue blob thing on our tree.
It's pretty cool though. You have to admit it is pretty
really
cool.
neat, but it really doesn't fit our tree at all. And I would have pushed harder for it to be like, no, you can't be. Don't put that on our tree. It looks dumb. But Renee gets sentimental in the holidays, and I'm sure she wasted a good $30 on it. So we're gonna.
Unless it was 25.
Yeah, $25 exactly. So we'll it's there. You'll see it. You'll be like, okay, wow. It doesn't match the decor or anything, but it's there. So.
Whatever. But
And
it's
also
beautiful.
too, Renee has these things, these Clothique. Then your mother-in-law, your ex-mother-in-law got you, right? These Clothique Santas. Like I'll have to like they're just so ridiculous because they're all different Santas doing different things. And
Oh, because each has. So she used to buy me one for whatever was going on that year. So like I have one with the baby boy because of Nicholas. I have one for 2 of the 3 dogs that I had at the time. Hockey one because I was into hockey. So there's everyone represents a different year.
And it's
my
cool,
favorite.
but they're so bitty. They're creepy. And at one point when we were in our old house, you had one like in the bathroom or something.
No, I've never.
Yeah,
had
they,
one
they were in the bathroom. I could have sworn there was one in the bathroom.
Oh no,
at one
no,
point.
not one of those were in the bathroom. I had a
But the
different
Santas
Santa.
were following me essentially. Like, no matter where I go, there's a freaking. I have to bleep myself there. No matter where I went, there was a freaking Santa Claus just popping in my face. Like they're following me around the whole house.
Whatever. You're so
But you did do
paranoid.
something special this year. You said you're gonna get.
Oh, I ordered a black Santa this year. I haven't since Claude and I've been together. I've never gotten any others. Obviously, I don't get any from my ex-mother-in-law anymore, and I just haven't gotten any more because Claude complains I have too many Santas. So so I ordered a
Way
black
more Santas
Santa.
than we have room for, but you ordered a black Santa.
Yeah, I ordered a black Santa. It should be here this week.
Weren't we supposed to order like one with a little black girl too for?
I didn't
Whatever happened with that?
find one because they don't have like a
Olivia-
biracial.
yeah,
It's
Olivia's
really
not
hard.
Exactly, she's in the middle.
Yeah.
She's in the middle color wise, but we'll find one of those. But how did you feel? We went to the store, remember? And she was kind of like
Yeah, but she was just wiling out though,
But
because that's what she
so
does.
basically, we were at the store. There was a black Santa. There was a lot of black Santas.
There
Actually.
was, there was.
A lot more
Than
racial
I've
diversity
ever
when it came
seen.
to the Christmas stuff, which is
Right.
pretty cool because I don't know where my mom used to get growing up, but we had like she used to she painted in the face of a white angel and put it on top of our
Oh,
tree.
really?
It looked like blackface. It was pretty awful.
Oh.
It was pretty awful. But we didn't really have that kind of stuff, so it was really interesting to see that Lowe's. So Pick Up the Lowe's had a lot of stuff, and it's not to be like, oh, you know, PC or whatever everybody's thinking, but it is nice to
But
see.
if you are a black person, you would want to buy decorations that represent you as a black person. Like, it's not, to me, that's not a PC. That's a, everybody should just, if you're Hispanic, you should be able to find something that matches your skin color. There
Right.
should be a variety of things to match you, because it's not fair that everything's just
Some people
white.
actually think like Jesus. Some people think that Santa's black or Santa's white. Excuse me.
Santa is a fictional
character, yeah.
so it's whatever's in your head. And I feel as if you're a black person, you tend to think of things in your own color, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I have no problem with Black Santa, and I know at one point Macy's was doing no matter whatever race you were, and whatever I think the big Macy's, I think actually all the Macy's did that, where no matter what race you were, if you could ask for a different color Santa.
Oh wait, but so let me ask you this though, because you always say black don't crack. Does that mean black Santas don't look old?
I mean, what do you mean? Like they have like black
Like,
beard?
because old white Santas are always really, really wrinkly.
No, Santa's gonna be wrinkly. He's gonna be fat. So that is one thing that is.
Because
so,
I can't.
listen,
I have
we
never
watched-
seen a black
so we
man that
watched
looks
that
wrinkly.
Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn the other day, and Santa's like big and brawny and like this like action hero, and I'm not like, I thought the movie was cool, but also that's to me not Santa.
Right.
You know, that's Santa. That's one thing that you can literally apply to all Santas. That Santa's supposed to be jolly. He's supposed to be, fat. He's supposed to have a giant beard, and a cheery disposition. So I don't care what color your Santa is. If he has all of that, then it's the real Santa.
It's good to go. Ooh, I can't even talk this morning.
But all in all, good trip to.
It was a great trip. I really enjoyed it. I spent a lot of really good quality time with my dad, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And my dad and I are planning for when you go back up. Well, all the places we're going to take you.
Well,
we're ready. My dad's ready.
Al, don't wait
Let's
too
go.
long for me there. What else do you want to talk about today?
Also, and then we had Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, that's right. We
So
did.
Thanksgiving was nice. We had just us, which I mean, it's always just
Yeah,
us.
small
Mike and
Thanksgiving.
Michelle, which seems Mike and Michelle have been here the last couple years.
Couple other friends.
And then two other friends.
My
that-
mom didn't even
that
come over this
came.
time
No,
around,
just
so-
us. Just a really small. It was a good Thanksgiving though. I really, none of the kids wild out. I mean, Olivia T and Sam did admit that they saw Olivia kind of run in circles, which they had never seen before, which, sometimes I like it that people can see Olivia acting the way that she normally acts for us. So, but yeah, so they got to see
We
Olivia.
got to see Olivia being Olivia, and it's so funny because everybody always says that, including my mom. But she's so sweet. Don't call her bad. Don't call her like naughty. I'm like. It's a miracle that she's gonna get any Christmas gifts this year, and we need to do an Elf on the Shelf, I think.
Oh yeah, so I get back. So Thanksgiving was great. Saturday morning, I go to dog training every Saturday morning. It's the highlight of my week. Don't get me wrong, I love my family,
Are
but
you talking about Saturday? Right? You said
Saturday,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be.
So Olivia slept. Well, she slept in her room, and then I think she got out on the couch, and then Claude and I are sleeping, and she came in. I tried to convince her, come on, crawl up into bed with us. And next thing I know, I smell nail polish. So I jump out of bed, and as I jump out of bed, I look, and she had taken a whole thing of red nail polish and dumped it all over the floor. And then of course she went running. Whoa.
I want you close to me,
Got you.
and you're hiding your face.
So anyway, so then she goes running, and then she comes back again. I'm like, I just need you to give mommy a minute, because I just got woke out of a dead sleep to nail polish all over.
And if we've never
red.
talked about this on this show before, Renee does not do well in the mornings, being woken up.
Can you see my face right now?
It's like really, really bad. Like she's like
Very
mean.
grouchy. I'm very mean.
Yeah.
So anyway, so then I like go to get the nail. So we have white tile floor now. I've got red nail polish everywhere. It's on her feet. Apparently, what she did is she dumped it. She stepped in it, and she was making decorations with her feet. Is what
She had
she
little
told
paw
me.
prints, little feet prints.
So yeah, she calls them paw prints. So then, as I'm like cleaning it up, because normally I would make her clean it up, but I just did not have the patience. I still needed to go to dog training, so I'm like, let me clean it up. So she comes up, she goes, "Mommy, I just wanted to be beautiful, and I made a mess." I'm like, "Oh dear God!" And
That
then
wasn't it.
and then I'm cleaning up her footprints, and she goes, "Mommy, you're messing up my decorations." I'm like, "Oh, Liv, I
Didn't she
can't."
at one point though go, "Mommy, Daddy," and we're like, "What?" I peed my pants.
When did she do that?
I don't know. I just remember waking up Saturday morning. We had to deal with dog feces,
Oh,
dog pee.
yeah, she
Olivia
did.
pee.
She did have an accident. Yeah,
No,
before
it
that.
wasn't dog feces. It was dog throw up.
It was dog throw up. Yeah, the dog got sick. So the dog got into somehow the turkey juice from the
Somehow.
Okay, so because it wasn't even straight turkey juice, it's we did a smoker, and so there's a water thing that you put water for the smoker, and sometimes it gets some grease in it, and so I dumped it in the corner of the yard, away from the house, behind the tree, thinking there's no way these dogs are gonna get into it. Yeah, so she got into it and she threw up.
They're dogs.
And it took us, so obviously
They
Claude
sniff out stuff
Claude
like
heard
that.
her get sick, so Claude cleaned it up, but then we smelled it and we couldn't find it, so I cleaned up,
We
y'all.
like left.
I know. I mopped and cleaned the floor 3 times. I did it with Fabuloso, still smelled it. Did it with bleach, still smelled it. We opened the windows, we left, we came back, still smelled it. And then we found it in like a
She threw up on her bed.
on her
dog
bed, but somehow it just didn't look like it, so I didn't think to look under it.
and it like
And
seeped
yeah, it
through.
was really disgusting.
Yeah.
But once again, I spent the whole day cleaning the stinking floor before I found it. But the
Yeah.
house is clean.
House is very clean now. The floor is amazing. You can eat off of it. I wouldn't
Yeah.
eat off of it.
Yeah. Oh,
Please
and
don't. Yeah, if you ever have the distinction of coming to our house, please do not drop anything on the floor. Throw that away. Don't eat it
Let the
because
dog
that's
eat it.
probably going to be really gross.
Yeah.
Between dog hair, dog whatever, the kids, like ugh,
Kids,
don't
yeah.
even. 5-second rule does not apply in our house. It's the 0-second rule. It's the
Yeah.
you're gonna get
Yeah.
salmonella.
And
or something.
I sweep the floor twice a day,
Yeah.
and I mop it at least every other day. Like I'm constantly on
We have
the
a Bob,
floor.
but Bob is broke too. So
Yeah.
hey, so guys, if you're recapping Saturday, so you got dog vomit, you got kid pee, you got
Nail
nail
polish.
polish. We had a little argument over all of that. A
little bit of a breakdown.
a nice
Who was gonna get up? Whose turn it was?
right, a nice holiday tift.
I skipped dog training because I had to clean up the mess. There was there was too much.
So hurt feelings, dog throw up.
This was
child
all before
pee,
9 o'clock,
All before 9 o'clock.
and then
So a good a culmination of our life that Saturday
yes,
morning.
and then we the studio, which is a garage that we converted, we had to go get flooring.
Oh,
So
yeah.
after all this craziness goes on, we still had to go to Lowe's, pick up the flooring, and then we spent the rest of the day Saturday installing the floor for the studio, which does look amazing, but
great, yeah.
my back is killing me because I know it makes me sound really old, and I called my
How old
dad.
are you?
21.
It's 21. Okay.
So I called my dad afterwards, or I'd send him a text, and I said, I understand why when we did flooring, because I've helped my dad put down floors before. You have knee pads and your back hurts the next day because legit. First off, Claude was laughing at me because Claude's doing the cutting, I'm doing the installation, and
Also, you're closer to the ground. So
but
it's
I'm
easier for
trying
you
to
do
stand
the-
up,
you
and by
know.
the end, I couldn't. I was having a hard time standing up. I was having to roll, and Claude was laughing at me. I'm like, you don't understand. It hurts so
Yeah.
bad, and I didn't sleep last night very well because whatever's pinched is still bothering me.
Yeah, so Saturday was one of those days that literally this is the reason why we do this podcast. Saturday was one of those days. So if you're listening to this and you had a fantastic Saturday or you had an awful Saturday, we feel you. We feel you. It's
Yeah.
always tough. Saturday should be like when you're resting, relaxing.
We never relax
We
on
never
Saturdays.
rest or relax on Saturday. We're usually dealing with something.
And even trying to install the floor, Olivia was helping us trying to install the floor, which was kind of entertaining. I let her hit the
entertaining. Huh?
use the mallet a few times to hit the pieces in, and yeah. What did she do? I feel like there was a few times even she took off running with stuff. She got a marker at one point.
She drew all over herself.
She drew all over herself in the
Yeah.
midst of it, and she's doing it right in front of us. But
Yeah.
we're obviously looking at flooring and trying to get pieces together, and then you look up and there she is with the marker and laughing.
Yeah. So So that was our Saturday.
Yeah, it's a good time.
We did have, so Saturday was crazy. We had a fairly decent week up until that point. Thanksgiving was great, and we have a few small holiday things to do soon. We'll talk about
Yeah.
those as they come up, and looking forward to Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah,
So
and a new year.
yeah. So you actually had a main topic you wanted to talk about
I
today.
did, I did. So, we installed the floor, like I said, and so it
Yeah.
really got me to thinking about just parenting in general and teaching our kids to fish. Essentially,
Yeah.
the saying, "Teach the kid to fish, don't just give him a fish," because like I said, I know I put in the flooring because my dad taught me how to put in the
This
flooring.
wasn't your first set of flooring that you put in either.
So, right, no, this is the second. No, yeah, at the old house. I
Yeah,
did it
yeah,
at the
yeah. We
old
did. Well,
house
yeah, yeah, yeah. We
all by
did that. Yeah,
myself.
absolutely.
But so the first house I ever owned, this is one, two. This is my third house. The fourth house. This is my fourth house that I've owned. So the first house I ever owned, it was carpeted, and Chloe ate one of my red pens.
First of all, thank God that our house isn't carpeted.
Yeah, so it
Oh
was
my
all
God.
carpeted. And Chloe, back then I was a waitress, and Chloe ate one of my red pens that I had for work.
Chloe, your old dog.
And Chloe, my old dog, and got red ink stains all over the floor. I mean, it was the carpet. I could not get it out. It was that light brown carpet. And so my dad came down and put in my first set of flooring, him and a friend. Never paid any attention on how to do that flooring. Then we got our second house, and once again there was carpet just in the bedrooms of that house. And so when why did we do I can't remember why we did the flooring, but we did the bedrooms.
Hold on. Why did we do the flooring?
No, my second house before you.
Oh, no, before me. Okay.
Before you. So yeah, so my dad once again did the flooring in those house in the two bedrooms of that house. It wasn't until my last house, my third house, that
He was sick of doing your flooring.
that I really started to pay attention, and we did it together.
Yeah.
And so I learned, and obviously well enough, because I've installed two floors by myself. And so I just think it's an important subject to talk about, that teaching your children, we have to prepare our children for when we're gone, because we're not going to be here forever, and God only knows how short of time we get to be here, or length of time, should I say. And so my dad moved back to Ohio a couple years ago, and I was a little distraught, to say the least. I was crying when he left. Claude's like, "Renee, it's gonna be all right." And I'm like, "No, my dad and I did all projects together." My dad, not only can I put down a floor,
And you missed him because he's going to be your dad. He's your dad, not
but
just
that's
because you did
no, no,
projects with him.
no, but him and I we like to do projects. It's not about the work. Like, him and I legit we like to keep busy. I get my needing to do something from my
And
dad.
to be fair, I've learned to like to do projects with you too. 9 times out of 10, I'd rather just call someone, but you have, I would say, 70 to 85% of the time, you've made me not do that, and
Right.
we've just done it ourselves. Which is why some of the things, if you come to our house, you're like, "Oh, that fence is nice," but
There's a little quirkiness to it.
there's a little offness to that.
Yeah.
But our flooring is not like that. Our flooring looks professionally done. It looks
There's only
very good.
two little pieces that are a little chipped, and I was getting mad, and they wouldn't go
Yeah,
in,
she
and
was
I hit
hulking.
them
She
a
was
little
Hulk smashing
hard.
them.
But yeah, so I mean, my dad has taught me how to do flooring, roofing, fencing, decks, light fixtures. I can replace a fan. I'm trying to think of what else. My dad taught me how to change a tire and oil. You'll never catch me doing those things, and he will make fun of me for not doing them. But him and I actually had a conversation. He's like, "Really, Renee?" I'm like, Okay, so in all reality, though, this is what my dad did. My dad showed me how to do it, but also said, if you start to do it, somebody's going to step and help you."
I'd rather you just do it. So as far as me and Olivia and changing the tire, I don't want anybody stopping to help her. I want her to do it herself.
Where the town I'm from, it would have been fine.
Well, I'm thinking like dark alleys and like.
Oh,
and
yeah,
like-
no,
and
no,
like,
no,
You
no.
know, so I'm just gonna advise her that if she's got to get a flat tire, make sure she gets a flat tire in the middle of the city around a bunch of people.
yeah.
I definitely don't want her to be taking any type of help from strangers on the side of the road in the backwoods. But yeah, no, I definitely think that's true. And so I grew up a little bit different. Well, it depends on the era of my childhood. Because my mom was married for almost 9 years to a man who did teach us to do a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff. Like I know how to. I know how to do roofs. I know how to build things generally. I've always told you if I have the tools, I can figure it out. I can Google it. But most of the time, my mom was like, let's call someone to do it. Let's do your research. Let's find the right value, and let's have somebody else do it. So it has been a bit of a challenge for me to learn to do all these DIY projects with you. But I will say, this nice faux brick wall behind you, I built that all by myself, I mean, it's basically a closet now, and it was nothing at one point. And basically every project we've done here, we've done together. So it is, this whole studio basically was what, 90% me.
Right.
So it is nice to be able to do things on your own. As far as teaching your kids, it's a challenge though, because this new generation of I would say teen and I would say teen to tween right now. It's very different. I don't know about Olivia's generation because she tends to want to do everything, like excessively.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's.
She's a lot like me though.
Like you, yeah.
She doesn't like to stop. She likes to have something to do.
Yeah. So as far as like these teenagers now, teaching them to do anything is challenging because they'd rather be doing something else. They'd rather be on video games.
It's a fight.
Yeah.
It is a fight. Even yesterday, to get Nicholas to help me do the lights on the Christmas tree, which is something we do every year together, he was huffing and puffing about it.
Right, because he'd rather be playing the game. He'd rather be playing the game. He'd rather be on the phone. He'd rather be.
We went to go get a Christmas tree, and I feel as if he intentionally forgot his mask.
Yeah.
So, because he was trying to, because he was trying to get out of going in to pick up the tree, which we go pick out the tree together as a family every year. Like we were gonna go Friday. He was going to his dad's for the weekend. We waited for him to get back. We always go as a family to get the tree, and so we went back to the house and got his mask.
We've waited till like December 15th to get a tree sometimes.
Yeah, just so that we're all together. It's just always been an important thing because we always get a real Christmas tree. But yeah, so it is very difficult to teach them when they just shut down and he tries to get through it. Even if you are trying to teach him, he just tries to get through it, not to learn it.
Yeah.
And and I do struggle with finding that balance.
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things where I want him to be self-sufficient because so as far as like hands-on building things, I wasn't necessarily that kid, but I knew how to do my own laundry. I knew how to cook.
He does those things.
So those are things that I do. I don't want us to sit here and say that like Nicholas doesn't know how to do anything.
Oh yeah, no, he knows how to do his laundry. He can
his
cook.
willingness to do it when we're there to do it. Okay, I'll give you that. If we're not there, I'm fully confident that he can wash his own clothes. To the extent when I'm like, I just know he would wait until the very last minute.
Oh yeah,
and he would definitely wear a couple dirty shirts.
I know
somewhere.
A lot of adults though that do that.
Yeah,
too.
so that could easily be like just like a young man thing.
But it's like, hey, go feed and water the dogs. Okay, Mom. And then I look around and the dogs are fed, but there's no water. Dude, you got to feed. Oh, I thought you wanted me to feed them. No, feed and water.
Right, and I think it's less about it. So the teaching them to fish, the old trope, you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime, you give him a fish, you feed him for that day. And the fact of the matter is, I think, generally speaking, you have to teach them to be able to survive. That's our roles. That's literally our role as parents. There's just so much nowadays that is just like adverse to that. Like you don't even have to go anywhere to get stuff nowadays. If you think about that, you know what I'm saying? There's apps for everything.
Yeah.
So it's more in the lines of instilling this type of ethical work drive behavior, more so than actual physical things. Because almost everything that you can do, you can learn on YouTube, essentially.
I'll say yes, but it's different. Like going through it because you find. I've done enough projects with my dad to know that things don't always look like they do on a YouTube video.
Right.
They don't tell you, what you do to when you like strip out a screw and it's stuck halfway in and halfway out. Like there are just so many
but you
weird,
can Google
quirky
that and
things.
see how to do that.
But it's not. I don't know. In my experience, it's not always as easy as they make it out to be. And sometimes experience and like having somebody show you and to make sure you don't make a mistake that costs you down the road because there are certain things if you don't line it up correctly, but you don't realize it till you're at the end. Even flooring, if it starts to get a little crooked, it's not going to be good.
Definitely. So I mean, I give you that, but again, I think it's giving them the mentality and less so the skill is what's the most important thing.
Yeah.
I mean, both are important, but I think that they have the ability to go and look to have the drive and the desire to just go be able to look something up and do it for themselves is key.
Yeah.
whether they have ever done it before, because there's several things that we've never done before, that your dad's never showed you before, that we have either looked it up. We had the drive to go try to figure it out ourselves and try to.
But I do feel as if though the tools that my dad has taught me along the way gave me the confidence, me personally,
But that's why I said it's
to look things up, because he taught me that, hey, and he always told me, like, there's nothing you can't do. And even now, I mean, there have been things, the generator wasn't working, and he taught me how to clean a carburetor. No, it ended up not being the carburetor, but the guy said that was the best, cleanest carburetor
Right.
he had seen. Like, so, but before that, I would have been like, heck no, I'm going to pay somebody to do
right.
that.
And I think where you're getting at is that I think a lot of kids right nowadays wouldn't know a carburetor from a hole in the ground type thing. So that's something that I think is starting to be missed, because we've become this instant gratification society, where things can literally be done. But we're also the information age.
Yeah.
Like I said, people can go and look it up and figure out how to do it. So instilling that drive, that desire to want to do it themselves, I think is what is key, and less the actual. Now, granted, because not everybody's dad knows how to clean a carburetor or a generator, but
But I feel like all parents have something that they're teaching their children.
what do you mean?
Well, it depends. Like, some people may not be hands-on, but they love to read and research, and
Okay.
they know history. They might be able to teach you how to write a paper. They might be really good at math and be able to teach you math. They might.
Not you.
Really? You gonna call me out like that?
Oh, I think they already know you're not good at math.
Maybe they're a
Is
dog.
that-
Maybe they're a dog trainer. Maybe
That's you.
they're a boater. Maybe they're a skier. Maybe they're like, there could be so many different things that you could be good at that you pass along to your children and teach them that. And with that comes confidence that you teach your children, and that confidence then goes down to the next generation. And I feel so even if it is something kind of smaller, I feel as if it snowballs into something bigger for later on in life, and that it's our responsibility as parents to teach our children and to give them the confidence to know that they can learn additional things. And when I don't know, for me, my dad teaching me all of these things that I could do has transpired into every aspect of my life, schooling. But I mean, both my parents used to really get on to me about schooling. I had to have straight A's. If I got something wrong, my dad made me
Did you have
write
straight
it. No. I had A's and
I
B's.
did.
I had A's and B's. But my dad always, because he wanted me to go to college. He hadn't gone to college at that point. My mom had gone and got her associate's degree, but had never gone on to get her bachelor's. So it was really important to him that I do that, and so he instilled even things that he didn't do.
Yeah, I think the
into me.
fish is different this generation than it has been in past. So like I said before, the teaching the fish is not necessarily a skill set that you're teaching them, a specific skill set. It's a mindset.
Yeah, agreed.
And as we talked about, teaching that mindset is more difficult to these kids, because they just don't.
It's different.
They don't care about the same things. They just don't. And if you have a teenager, and you're just literally just wanting to just choke them out because they just don't get it, understand that it's not just you. Like, we have friends with teenagers, and they come in and they literally act the exact same. They don't even interact with each other. They just
Yeah.
on the phone, and the headphones in the ears, and you're just
Head
like
down,
head down. And
and
it's
yeah.
like, how do you
Acknowledging people in the room. I tell Nicholas all the time, like, pick your head up, say hello, interact with people. You're going.
Oh, it's because interaction is not a thing. Well, especially now. So do you have a generation of teenagers that are coming to age in the time of COVID, in the time of technology, in the time of virtual interactions, to the point where in-person things are not, because he's very different. Nicholas is very different online. Like,
Yeah,
his
he's a lot more outgoing.
talking to him in this house versus playing the video game with him and all his friends, his personality is very, very, very different.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of that anonymity or that anonymous. Well, it's not you're not being anonymous, but you don't have to actually show your face.
Right.
And
You
see
can
your
be hidden.
expressions. You can be hidden, and so it gives you more confidence,
Right.
because you kind of have this veil. But it baffles me, though, because how does a society survive when people don't know how to interact in public? And I know we've jumped topics here, but It was more about teaching kids to fish and all that.
But that's a good point. You and I have talked about this pre-COVID, even going out, where the newer, like the early 20 generation, even has a hard time holding a conversation.
Right.
I can't remember. We were out one time, and there was somebody that we had met, and they had some girls with them that were like younger 20s, and Claude and I can talk to anybody, but it was like pulling teeth trying to get any type of a conversation.
Oh yeah, I know who that was.
Yeah. And so, we're like, what's
lovely person though, like really, like
really nice. And I'm not saying anything mean or negative. It was just almost like it was difficult for them to have this social
Right.
with somebody that they've never had.
Met
And we
before,
just,
yeah.
and don't get me wrong, Claude annoys me because Claude's overly social. But I can hold a conversation with anybody.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand sometimes, or people, it's almost like as if they intentionally avoid social interaction with people that they don't know. But if you don't ever have social interactions with people you don't know, how do you ever make additional friends?
Right.
And you don't want your bubble to be that small.
It's this weird circular cylindrical wheel of weirdness, because it's like you have this identity online. This is who you are. People see that. They meet you in person. You don't talk. It's like, oh, you're so very different in person type thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I think it is generational, because we've learned to interact outside of all of that. Like, I mean, if I don't know about you, but Facebook, I mean, you're older than me, but Facebook for me didn't happen until I was in college.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we had MySpace, but I don't even know MySpace even. I don't. Somebody.
It
correct me.
it's still there,
I know
but it's
still there,
something
but
different
I
now.
don't know if MySpace even had like Messenger. I don't even know if could you even interact on when I was that age.
I don't remember.
Yeah, when I was that age, we had AIM. We had America Online.
Oh yeah, I had that too. Yeah, the instant messenger.
Yeah, that's what we had, and that was enough.
Yeah.
I feel like now. I mean, everything they're doing is virtual. Virtual. Like when we were doing the Christmas tree, he had his earbuds in, and I was like, "Who are you talking to?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm talking to such and such," and I'm like, "Oh,
Oh yeah, that was my thing. Yeah, he was on the phone with his friend while he's helping me with Christmas lights, and sometimes I struggle because I know that I could very easily tell him get off and just get off and force him into, but then I have this. He's not enjoying it. Now I'm not enjoying it. Now we're all going to be miserable together. I don't want that interaction
I think
either.
children being miserable at the expense of their parents is a natural and normal thing that has been happening since the dawn of time. And you cannot be afraid that they'll be miserable because how many things that your parents drag you to that you didn't want to do?
Yeah.
My mom made me, all right, I'll give you the list. My mom made me do something called SciMass. You know what SciMass was? It was this like social interaction group where we literally taught STEM, like science, technology, education, and mathematics. This was a club that we were in together.
You and your mom?
What?
A club that you and your mom were in together?
Yeah, it was like something that we went. It was.
I've never even heard of it.
It's called SciMass. It was something that the local area put on, and we would literally go and talk about science. Now, granted, I was a kid interested in science and math, and I loved all that stuff, but I didn't necessarily want to go do that. I could have been home playing video games. Everything having to do with church. It's just so much church stuff. She made me do like Easter speeches, Christmas speeches, like just these things that I didn't necessarily want to do. I literally could have been home playing video games. Not whatever video system was out at the time, because my mom always had us behind one, and I'm gonna talk about that in 1 second too to close this out. But so kids being miserable at the expense of their parents is very, very normal, and it's so stupid that, not saying you're stupid, but just the idea that I don't want to upset them because I don't want to bring them with me because we take them on vacations.
Yeah, but he always he complains about that too.
Yeah, but then he'll turn around and talk about how he's been everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those things where it's you have to read the subtext when it comes to kids, I think. And
so you're saying I should make him miserable more often?
Yeah, that's normal. You're supposed to be miserable. Your parents are not your friends.
I don't play as friends. I do. Yeah, you're right. I don't pick my battles maybe enough.
Right. So, I mean, to me personally, like, if he doesn't want to go do things, we'll make him do it. Just make him do it. Like I said, anybody out there listening, your parents are, that was their thing, to embarrass you. To drag you along the
Make you go. See, my mom would take us to relative after relative, and we'd have to sit there and be quiet while they visited.
Right. Right.
Like,
And
how
you
much
didn't have a
longer are
game.
you gonna be,
You
Mom?
didn't have a Game Boy. You
No,
didn't
we had
have,
nothing.
I mean, I had a Game Boy, but you didn't
A
have like
book
a
normally,
book.
or my brother's. That was
Right.
what we had.
Right. So it's kind of like overall, we've just kind of allowed like technology and everything to just kind of not raise our kids, but kind of placate our kids when really they should be able to do, the kids should be able to sit there, shut up, and just relax.
Right.
You know, and I will say we're the biggest offenders of that. Because the first thing that I'll do is give Olivia my iPad and just say, go sit in the corner and leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the challenge I think with raising kids in 2020. But yeah. So I mean,
Parenting is so much fun.
and one of the things I did want to talk about. So everybody's going all crazy about this PS5, right?
Sure.
We probably won't be getting one for Christmas.
No.
It's just we'd rather spend our money not because like we're not judging anybody. It's just that we would rather spend our money on other gifts, and get a PS5 like in January or March or whenever next year, whenever everybody's not trying to get it. But it makes me laugh because Nicholas has asked about it, and I hear kids talking about it. I hear adults talking about it. And if you want one, get one. But I grew up with a mom that when the Nintendo came out, she would literally be like, "You have a Nintendo." I go, "No, Mom, that's an Atari." She goes, No. You have that. When that breaks, you can get the next thing. So the Atari would break. They come out with the Sega. Oh, look at that. We're getting a NES. Okay. No, not the Sega. It was, I guess, a Super Nintendo.
Yeah, Super Nintendo.
And then, you get your NES. We never had a Super Nintendo because it was years and years and years passed by. Sega came out, and she's like, my brother had to go buy a Sega himself. Same year that Sony PlayStation came out. So we're always a game system behind. And so it's kind of one of those things that kid doesn't necessarily need it.
No.
Kids don't.
And they're expensive.
Everybody's going to talk about the graphics and all that nonsense. And I'm like, yeah, I'm with you. I feel it. As an adult, yes. Graphics, total experience. But I'm 35. I got a good job. Your kids don't necessarily need to be dictating that for you. You know, make them play. It's not just make them just play their current game system, you know? So don't stress out about that, y'all. Like, don't stress out about trying to get a PS5 or getting a good deal with it. I guarantee you they'll be okay next year when they're still out on the shelves, and maybe they'll be a little bit cheaper.
Hopefully.
So, you know, big up to y'all out there trying to fight over a PS5. I think that's crazy. But
yeah, I ain't fighting nobody.
I didn't have something else to talk about, but we're kind of running out of time, so we can actually talk about it next week.
Oh, that sounds good.
And what are your final thoughts? I don't know, what did we even talk about today?
Oh goodness, Olivia, Nicholas, teaching a kid to fish. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm tired.
A lot of stuff. Don't be yawning because they
I
can see you
know.
yawn now.
I know,
So
it's
you-
my
you
Monday.
can actually you're seen now.
I know, I'm trying hard, guys. I'm trying.
Big Monday for you because you're back to work.
But yeah, I've been off for a week, so today's gonna be a fun day back to work too.
You will be okay.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm feeling blessed. I've got a job and
right.
thankful
So,
for
yeah,
my
so that-
family.
I'll close with that once again. I've been saying it a lot, but I'm so thankful for people and friends and families and everyone. And I think if you're having a hard time with COVID, out of work, you know, whatever it may be, just hold on tight. You know, whether you have faith, whether you don't have faith.
we're all with you at this moment because it's
Right.
all of our struggle. I think we're all struggling. We're struggling
Differently.
differently, but we're all struggling at this point, some more so than others. And so, too, I even encourage you to the random person you meet on the street, you don't know what their struggles are, and be
Right.
a little bit more kind to them because you don't know what kind of losses they've had this
Let's
year.
remember the whole ideal of Christmas spirit this year. It's going to really be super important this year because of so much
Agreed.
that's going on. I mean, this has been a really crappy year.
Yeah.
It's been it's actually been a great year in general for us as far as us figuring out what's important in life.
Yeah.
And then just being thankful for what we have. But it's been trying. It's been trying. And a lot of people have been going through some really bad things. So with the Christmas time approaching, I'm going to be a little bit more jolly, I think. I'm going to be more in tune to listening to the Christmas
Jolly.
music and just relaxing,
Trying to enjoy it.
trying to enjoy it. But we'll be here. You know, we'll got a new look, and we'll look. We made it a little different next episode too, because I'm going to tweak some things. But so you guys just take care of each other, and we'll be back, Renee.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Next
That's
week.
all you
That's
got?
all I got. That's all
All
I
right,
got.
guys. I'm Claude.
And this is
And
Renee.
this has been Before the Kids Wake Up.